let somebody who's on the road to success fail and get in the car with two guns. And there's no way you forget that there are guns in the car. There's two guns. I don't know people that ride around with two guns and forget, oh, I forgot these two guns were in here. I don't know, around the wrong crowd or you get help from the wrong person, things can happen like this because everybody doesn't care about your success. Everybody doesn't want to see you on top or want to see you excel in a certain position or do certain amazing things. People like you to stick around. Things change his family tree financially and change his life is now in this horrible predicament. And this is something that probably will follow him image on my team. They were trying to paint him in a bad light, but this dude is not a horrible or bad dude. Like, he doesn't have a criminal history at all. Zero, nada. Emoni Bates, the high school phenom, the guy who graced Sports Illustrated at the age of 15 years old. 15! And was titled to be the next Magic Johnson, Kevin Durant, or LeBron James. Now, he is facing felony charges for guns. And I hate to see this for a young man who has so much potential. He's only 18 years old. He was 17 years old playing college basketball. 17. This guy is extremely good. A guy that was so good in seventh grade, he averaged 40 points per game, skipped the 8th grade and trained for high school. Did the same thing for college, skipped his senior year and went into college, even though it didn't turn out successful in Memphis. And now he's back home in Michigan playing at Eastern Michigan, which is pretty good for him. He's playing at a MAC school though. A guy that's on Sports Illustrated. He doesn't play for a team that's in the MAC. That doesn't happen. But anyway, let's get into this. Emoni Bates, this guy has so much potential to be great. And this goes back to, who are you hanging around? What does your circle look like? Who is a friend? Who is a foe? Who wants to see you fail? Who wants to see you excel and succeed? Now, Emoni Bates, a guy who is an amazing basketball player. He has the potential to do great things and the potential to be an NBA player and change his family tree. Gets into a car, gets pulled over, and they find two guns. They find two guns that's in the car. And now, mind you, the car is not his. The guns are not his. This goes back to, who let him borrow this car? Who let Emoni Bates borrow this car? Was this a friend that let Emoni Bates borrow this car? Was this a girlfriend, a family member? Who let Emoni Bates borrow the car? Because if that's a friend, that's not a friend, folks. That's not a friend at all. A friend does not let somebody who's on the road to success fail and get in the car with two guns. And there's no way you forget that there are guns in the car. There's two guns. I don't know people that ride around with two guns and forget, oh, I forgot these two guns were in here. I don't know nobody that does that. Now Emoni Bates is facing these felony charges. It sucks because everyone around you is not your friend. Everyone around you is not your friend. And this is a clear example. A guy who has the potential to excel and do great things, change his family tree financially and change his life, is now in this horrible predicament. And this is something that probably will follow him along into the draft. Can he be trusted? Who is he hanging around with? Like, do I want this type of image on my team? They were trying to paint him in a bad light, but this dude is not a horrible or bad dude. Like, he doesn't have a criminal history at all. Zero, nada, nothing. Wrong place, wrong time, and hanging around somebody who's really not a friend at all. And that person is probably not looking out for you at all. Like, should be somebody there saying, hey, you got the potential to do great things. I want to see you succeed, and I hope you succeed. I want to see that for you, Emoni. I really, really do. But it seems like that's not the case in this situation. Man, this is a guy who we all thought was the next Kevin Durant, and that potential is not over with. I still have hope that he can land on the NBA team in the upcoming 2023 draft. I read this article on SB Nation by Ricky O'Donnell. Now, yeah, I think that's his name. Ricky O'Donnell. Yeah, I think that's his name. So read that, and it's very interesting. He has a lot of things in there saying that Emoni Bates never really played in a structured environment once he left Lincoln and he started to play for his dad's school. Basically, he can do whatever he wants, and the team just evolved around him and making a name for himself, and he wasn't playing against great players. And he said, hey, maybe that's what the start of all of this, that thing just never really worked out for him because he got everything he wanted at the time. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. There was no no's for him. So maybe he wasn't able to adjust to the college game because of that. That's what I'm thinking by reading this article. But this one line stood out to me. I was like, man, this is interesting. It said Bates was never set up for success, not by his family, not by the media, not by Memphis. The start of his career at Eastern Michigan doesn't seem to be any different. So this is a horrible way to start the season. Felony charges, a guy who should not be in this position at all. But when you hang around the wrong crowd, or you're around the wrong crowd, or you get help from the wrong person, things can happen like this, because everybody doesn't care about your success. Everybody doesn't want to see you on top or want to see you excel in a certain position or do certain amazing things. People like you to stick around. Okay, sometimes that's the case. And for somebody giving this man this car and give him 2 guns in the car that they didn't know about. Now, did Emoni Bates know about the guns? I don't know if he did or did not know about the guns. Now, if he knew about the guns, this was just a horrible and dumb decision on his hands. So I cannot put all the blame on the person who gave him the car. But if Emoni Bates knew and he still drove this car, that was a huge mistake for him, a huge mistake for him. So hopefully he'll be able to work this out and we can see him on the basketball court this season. And hopefully we can see him in the 2023 NBA draft and he can get selected and change his lifestyle and change his family's life as well. So I'm hoping that things work out for Emoni Bates. If things don't, that would suck. That would be one of the nightmares of high school basketball players. A guy who was on the front of the Sports Illustrated at the age of 15. So good that he skipped his senior year, went to college at the age of 17, playing college basketball. So we have to wait. We have to see how things will work out. He has a court date in October. So hopefully things will work out in his favor. And hopefully, I hope that he did not know about that gun. Because if he really did, oh man, that would be the worst. That would really be the worst.